the funds that will be provided by Nigeria Mortgage Refinancing Company is going to be market driven.
We have a set of guidelines that you must follow, the requirements before you can access the loan.
We measure their performance before another disbursement is made.
In coming up with ideas for more affordable housing, the company decided to partner with Federal Mortgage Bank.
Any other thing will fall in place, I can assure you that, because life is a lot easier.
The Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, FMBN, offers loans for the acquisition of houses for majority of Nigerians through the National Housing Fund, NHF, as well as loans to estate developers through its Estate Development Loans, EDL initiative, whereas the National Housing Fund is strictly for contributors to the National Housing Fund scheme. The Estate Development Loan, EDL, is to private real estate developers in the housing sector to build houses in large numbers for mortgage or outright purchase. In the last couple of years, the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria has increased access to estate development loans, giving opportunities to many private estate developers to participate in the mass housing program. This is evident in the number of estates coming up in almost every state of the Federation.
We have a set of guidelines that you must follow, the requirements before you can access the loan. Once you meet all these criteria, we grant you the loan so that you can do a mass production of houses like you see in most of these estates around Abuja and some other places in Nigeria, where, of course, you see an estate containing about 200,000 units and above. And, of course, it's not limited to those estate developers alone. I mean, private estate developers alone. We equally grant similar loan to state housing corporations.
One of the key policy which has been effective is the control of disbursements of money in milestone. We now, when monies has been disbursed to developers, we measure their performance before another disbursement is made. It has helped in controlling the excesses of the developers in terms of delivering exactly what they are asked to deliver. That is, if maybe the first phase of the project is to deliver, say, 100 units. So we monitor them specifically to deliver that 100 units before another money is disbursed to them to continue.
Apart from just giving out loans for estate development, the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, through its various organs, carries out routine inspection of sites and estates to ensure adherence to agreements, rules, and regulations.
We ensure that things are done at the right time and at the right place. For instance, when we do monitoring of our estates, we have a lot of developers, we give loans, and they build houses, we have construction sites, they build houses for us. So this department goes to sites to monitor what they are doing, to ensure that the work going on site conforms with all the requirements and guidelines set out for that job. So that's why I said like a quality control department. So when you go to the estates we finance, you find that the quality of the estates are good because that department makes sure that everything, the rules are followed.
The monitoring department of the FMBN is the arm of the bank saddled with this responsibility.
Part of the function of this department is monitoring of the funded projects of the bank. Like I said, since this board or the management came in, a lot of policies have been in place to bring in improvement in the services of or delivering of the houses which the estate developers are building on behalf of the bank for onward transfer to the beneficiaries through the primary mortgage banks.
Estate development loans from the FMBN are disbursed at intervals. This is to enable the bank ascertain each phase of work during construction by developers.
By the conditions of our loan, especially to the estate developers, we're supposed to disburse in 3 tranches of 40%, 30%, 30%, making the 100. So we ensure that they comply with these conditions and all the other conditions in the offer letters. Monitoring, which is strictly our function here, is to ensure that if you are given money to deliver 40 units, you deliver those 40 units to completion level, so that the PMB working with the developer will now package NHF loans and send it to the bank for processing, so that the houses can go to the target buyers, which are the NHF contributors.
Estate development loans also come with all the necessary specifications in the bill of quantity. The work of the monitoring group is to ensure adherence to specification requirements.
Every project has to come with a bill of quantity. And when we go to the site, we ensure that what is contained in the bills, specifically, we ensure that they go with the contents of the bill, so that where we see them maybe going outside that, we draw their attention. Sometimes we even stop them to when they comply with exactly what is provided in the bill of quantities for that project.
The routine inspection of estates financed by the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria is an essential function of the bank. This involves the use of experts to make sure that no house built under the National Housing Fund is substandard.
The bank engages consultants, which they give us a report every month. Consultants which are engaged by the bank, and they keep on supervising the projects. Now, when they give us a report, we review the report, and then we now follow up with a visit to ensure that what the consultant is reporting is exactly what is on the site. So we pay frequent visits to this site to ensure that the right things are being done.
The FMBN also has the Research and Documentation Unit to take home its functions of efficient supervision and monitoring.
We deal with building development. So the unit, part of the function of the unit, to go out to the market, carry out research on building materials, come back with a report. They do this on quarterly basis. And this guides us in vetting the bills of quantity submitted by both developers and individual applicants for NHF loan. Because if you are building a house as an NHF contributor, part of the requirement is you must submit a bill of quantity along with other documents, which goes through loans production. So we here do the research on building materials, cost of building materials, and we will now advise the relevant departments, especially loans department. Look, this is what the price of the market is all about, building materials. So that will guide them in vetting of those bills. So we do that frequently on quarterly basis.